You have already used artificial intelligence today, probably a dozen times, and almost certainly without noticing a single one. Not the chatbot, not the image generator, not the thing in the headlines. Something quieter. You unlocked a screen by showing it your face. You typed a message and the word you meant appeared before you finished spelling it. You opened your inbox and the scam email was already gone. You checked how long the drive would take, and a machine told you about traffic that had not happened yet. Every one of those is a trained model doing a job. None of them look like what people picture when they hear the phrase artificial intelligence. Here's the strange part. The single most used artificial intelligence system on the planet is not the chatbot everyone argues about. You touch it thousands of times a day, it sits under your thumbs, and you have never once called it artificial intelligence. I will show you exactly what it is in a few minutes. By the end of this video, you will be able to point at the machine learning running in your phone, your inbox, your commute, your bank, and your working day. You will know why you stopped noticing. And you will know the one question worth asking about every single one of them. This is the automation stack. Let's find the artificial intelligence you are already using. So if this stuff is everywhere, why does it feel like it is not? There is a name for this. Researchers call it the artificial intelligence effect, and one of the people who founded the field summed it up perfectly. As soon as it works, nobody calls it artificial intelligence anymore. Think about what that means. When a machine first read handwritten digits, that was a landmark result. Today it is just how your bank app deposits a check. When a machine first beat a world champion at chess, it was front-page news around the world. Today it is a free app on your phone and nobody writes about it. The moment a hard problem gets solved reliably, we stop calling it intelligence and start calling it a feature. So artificial intelligence permanently means whatever computers cannot quite do yet. Everything they have already mastered gets renamed. Spell check, search, recommendations, autofocus. That renaming is why your mental picture is wrong. You are picturing a chatbot, because the chatbot is the part that is still new enough to feel impressive. Meanwhile, the mature stuff, the models that have been quietly working for years, have faded into the furniture. And there is a second reason you stop noticing, which matters more. Good artificial intelligence has no interface. It does not announce itself. There is no button. It just changes what you see, and the better it works, the more invisible it becomes. So let's go find it, starting with the device in your hand. Pick up your phone, and the first thing it does is look at you. Face Unlock is not comparing a photograph. It is projecting a pattern of invisible dots onto your face, building a depth map, and running that map through a small neural network trained to recognize one specific person. It works in the dark. It works when you grow a beard. It rejects a printed photo of you. That is a trained model running on the device dozens of times a day. Now open the camera. When you press the shutter on a modern phone, you are not taking one photograph. The phone captures a burst of frames and a model merges them, decides what is a face, what is a sky, what is motion, and reconstructs a single image with detail the sensor never physically captured. Night mode is not a brighter exposure. It is a prediction of what the scene should look like. And now the payoff I promised you at the start. The most used artificial intelligence on Earth is your keyboard. Every time you type, a language model is running. It is predicting the next character, the next word, correcting what your thumbs actually hit into what you almost certainly meant. It learns your names, your slang, the way you text one person differently from another. Billions of people run that model thousands of times a day, in 100 languages, and not one of them thinks of it as artificial intelligence. They think of it as the keyboard. It is the same core idea that powers the chatbot everyone is amazed by. Predict what comes next. One of them gets a magazine cover. The other one gets blamed when it changes a word you did not want changed. Put the phone down and look at the apps you actually open. Every one of them is running a model to decide what you see. Start with your inbox, because it is the most thankless artificial intelligence ever built. A spam filter is a classifier. It reads the signals of a message and estimates the probability that it is junk. The big email providers say they block well over 99% of spam and phishing. Think about how strange that is. A system doing a hard job almost perfectly, and the only time you ever think about it is the one time it gets something wrong. Now open maps. The route is the easy half. The hard half is the number next to it, the arrival time. To produce that, a model is predicting traffic conditions that do not exist yet, on roads you have not reached, at a time you have not arrived. It is forecasting the future state of a city, and it is correct so consistently that you have stopped questioning it. Then there is everything that recommends. Music, video, shopping, your feed. These systems watch what you played, what you skipped, what you watched to the end, and match you against millions of other people with similar behavior. On the big streaming platforms, most of what people actually watch begins as a recommendation, not a search. You did not choose from a catalog. A model chose the catalog you got to see. And in your photos, type the word beach or dog or a friend's name, and it finds them. Nobody tagged those pictures. A vision model looked at every image you own and labeled it. Which brings us to the ones you cannot see at all. Everything so far had a screen. Now the systems that run with no interface at all, on your behalf, without ever telling you. Tap your card on a reader. In the time it takes for the terminal to say approved, a model has scored that transaction for fraud. Your location, the amount, the merchant type, the pattern of your recent spending, all of it compared against how your account normally behaves. That is a live risk model making a judgment call within 1 second. You experience it as nothing at all until the day it is wrong and your card declines in a shop. Answer a call and the spam label appears before you say hello. Take a call and background noise gets stripped out of your voice. Both models. And here is the second thing I promised you. The oldest one on this list has been running since before most people had heard of the web. In the 1990s, banks needed to process enormous volumes of handwritten checks, and a young researcher's neural network learned to read the handwritten amounts. By the late 90s, that system was reading a serious share of all the checks written in the United States. A neural network doing real commercial work at national scale, decades before anyone was arguing about chatbots. And the architecture that researcher built is the same family of model that now reads your bank deposits, your parking tickets, and any menu you point a camera at. So the technology is not new. The interface is new. What changed is not that machines suddenly became capable. It is that they finally became cheap and small enough to put everywhere. Which is exactly what makes your working day interesting. If you write software or work anywhere near it, the density goes up sharply. Here, artificial intelligence is not a background service. It is sitting inside the tools you have open right now. Your editor completes the next line before you write it. That is a model trained on code, predicting the continuation from context, the same next token trick as your phone keyboard, aimed at syntax instead of sentences. Your pull request gets automated review comments. Your error tracker groups thousands of stack traces into a handful of real issues, because a model decided which ones are the same underlying bug. Your monitoring raises the alarm at 3 in the morning because a model learned what a normal Tuesday looks like on that service, and this was not one. Search the documentation, and you are not doing keyword matching anymore. You are hitting a semantic model that understands the question you asked in the words you happen to use. Even the boring parts. The meeting transcript. The translated comment in a pull request from a colleague on another continent. The autocomplete in your terminal. The ranking of results when you search an internal wiki. Everyone is a model. And this is the part worth sitting with. You did not adopt any of these. You did not evaluate a vendor, or approve a rollout, or read a model card. They arrived inside tools you already used, in an update you did not read. Your workflow became machine learning driven by default. That is not automatically a bad thing. Most of these tools genuinely make the work faster. But it does mean something important, and it is the part almost nobody thinks about. Here is the catch, and it applies to every single example in this video. None of these systems are neutral. Every one of them was trained to maximize something, and a human being chose what that something is. That choice is the whole game. Your recommendation feed is not optimized to make you informed, or happy, or finished. It is usually optimized for engagement, for time spent, for the next click. Those goals overlap with your interests some of the time. They are not the same goal. Your spam filter is tuned to a balance between letting junk through and eating a real message. Someone picked that balance. When a job offer or an invoice lands in your spam folder, that is not a malfunction. That is the trade-off working exactly as configured. The fraud model that declines your card in another country is not broken either. It was tuned to accept a certain amount of inconvenience to prevent a certain amount of loss. You are on one side of a number somebody chose. And because these systems learn from historical data, they inherit whatever is in that history. A model trained on past decisions will reproduce the patterns in those past decisions, including the ones nobody would defend out loud. So here is the one question worth asking about any artificial intelligence you meet. Not, is it smart? Ask, what is it optimizing for, and who chose that? A recommendation engine, a credit decision, a search ranking. Same question every time. Because the systems you never notice are exactly the systems you never audit. Let's put it together. Artificial intelligence is not arriving. It arrived, quietly, over about 30 years, and it stopped announcing itself the moment it started working properly. It is in your face unlock and your camera. It is in your keyboard, the most used model on this whole list. It is in your spam filter, your arrival time, your recommendations, and your photo search. It is in a contactless payment and a call screen. It has been reading handwriting for banks since the 1990s. And if you work in software, it is inside your editor, your reviews, your alerts, and your search. You stop noticing because good artificial intelligence has no interface. And each one is optimizing for a goal that a person chose, which is the question worth carrying with you. If you want to understand what is actually happening inside these systems, this channel has a full series that builds it up one clear explainer at a time. What a neural network is, how machines learn, how a computer sees an image, and how it reads text. Each one builds on the last. For more content, please like and subscribe.